Welcome to another walk in the woods with Brandi and I. So, as I clean all these leaves off myself, I've been thinking today about what it means to deal with competition and, it's a reality as dealing with businesses and being a business yourself. Having your own part to deal with and offer in the world. Living in a very competition-driven economy and culture. Inevitably, you have to deal with that thing. And it's either something that you love and something you thrive on, or it's something that you don't particularly like. And I'm really not sure how I feel about it, to be honest, because of how it can bring a lot of Machiavellian kind of sensibilities out of me, and it really makes me take a pretty hard turn into the warrior aspect of my nature, as well as the darker side of the magician, I would say. And my question is, how does anyone, for that matter, take that and turn it to something good that actually ends up producing more of a positive net effect than a negative net effect? And how do you hold on to your core, hold on to what's authentic, what's true about you, what your highest values are, without letting it consume you? So this is all hot off the presses because I've just been thinking about it today, and I've been working through this stuff. We're really moving toward kickstarting our business, Shared Vision Media Productions. And that involves getting out there and letting people know what we do, what it's about, that our goal is to help them develop their brand story and to share what they're really about, what they love, what they're passionate about to the world. And that's something that obviously involves social media, involves production of content, a lot of the creative stuff that we love doing. It involves some stuff that's constantly evolving and constantly changing, marketing. And along with all of that, there's of course the competition that you find everywhere. The competition for clicks, for attention, eyeballs on social media. And then in a more, niche kind of way, the competition of other companies that are doing something similar, marketing companies, individuals that are doing, photography, shooting video for people, stuff like that. And, you have to really define your own, in our case, we have to define our own goal and know what we're doing. And we realize that, first of all, we have to be really determined on what does give us a competitive edge. But second of all, we really don't like to live our life like everything is a zero-sum game. And the goal is to destroy the competition, to be better than everybody else, or at least to get the outcome we're wanting in the end. That's more important than people, and that's more important than relationships. No, that's not right at all. Obviously, being profitable, obviously being recognized as being at the top of our game and having something genuinely good to offer, that matters. It matters that what we do has an impact and that it's sustainable, that we can, make a decent living. We can continue to do the things that we love to do, that we really want to do, that makes an impact in other people's life. And we don't just burn out, you know, we don't just find ourselves to be a empty shell after we've given our all, given our best to help others. Like, that's really the reciprocity. That's the sort of, I don't know, I guess best case use for free market systems. I won't say capitalism, because I definitely have learned quite a bit, gotten quite an earful from Jordan Peterson about the isms, about what ideologies do to people. Inevitably, there's a lack of balance there, and it's never really worked for me anyway to go too far into any of those specific ideologies. I've always been looking for more of a holistic balance, and for a way of, like for instance, the balance of the interests of the individual versus the interests of the collective, the group. And I've always stood on the idea that these things shouldn't be mutually exclusive. Like, what's best for one should be what's best for all, and vice versa. And there are definitely situations that call upon an individual to sacrifice for the greater good, to sacrifice for the many. But it's never right for anyone to force that upon someone else, to compel someone else to do that. And that's when it becomes, I think, immoral, becomes unethical. But anyway, rambling a little bit off from the point. As I've been dealing with these thoughts about how we deal with, say in our case, a competitor who's also involved in media and helping people develop a presence on social media and online in general, and how we're supposed to deal with that, you know, how we're supposed to think about that and handle the competitive aspects of it. My thought has been today, how do I take into consideration their motives? Because I'm looking at the difference in, at least from what I can tell of their brand voicing, I'm looking at what their story seems to be from their posts. And it seems like they're basically just kind of trying to leverage networking, trying to build a network quickly. And basically, I mean, profit motive. Trying to generate business, trying to generate leads for themselves. You know, talking about somebody that has skills, I would say pretty decent camera skills with their phone or whatever they're using, probably an iPhone, whatever, you know, it's not really important. But there's some generic aspects to their filming and their branding and the thumbnails of their videos. They're obviously trying to just, they're trying to grow really quickly locally here in Huntsville, Texas. They're trying to accelerate, expand their brand, and with as much leverage as they possibly can. And you know, I can definitely appreciate those. I can appreciate the work ethic. I can appreciate the desire to produce something, create something. I can respect that. I can respect the gumption. This is a younger person who's doing this, and yeah, I wouldn't call them evil. Wouldn't call them an enemy. But I would say that my impression of them is that their first order values, their first order goals, are definitely much more on the side of making money. Definitely much more on the side of growing their own business, building their own reputation. They're hungry and they're driven for their own success, which isn't a bad thing in and of itself. But where we definitely differ is what we're doing with shared vision, and what we're really doing with all of our pursuits, entrepreneurial and otherwise, is we're trying to serve a higher set of values than that, than just simply our own personal success and profit motive. We're trying to serve our clients first. We're trying to serve the people that we're developing what we're developing for, whether products or services. We want them to have something that genuinely improves their life, that genuinely adds something to them that is beyond the price they're paying for it. That's beyond whatever sum of money or commitment we're asking them to make with us. That's what we're looking to do, is we're looking to genuinely improve their life. And, you know, to see them grow, to see them prosper in their business enterprise, to see them prosper in their personal calling, the message that they're trying to convey to the world, whether they're, you know, a nonprofit or they're personal trainer or of a tattoo parlor, you know, a place that is doing local businesses here, you know, services or particular products. And so business to business or business to clients, you know, to the consumer. We want to help people tell their story. We want to help them cast their vision to the world. And so, you know, following the kind of marketing scheme that we're going after, it's much more closely aligned with Seth Godin's permission marketing, where we want to find the people, the minimum viable audience that we're the most closely aligned with, the people that will really be the ones we're excited to work with, and that we can be in love with their vision, we can be in love with what it is they're doing, and we can fully back them, we can get fully behind them and help them all the way and see them grow. And their success is our success. So in a lot of our model, we're not trying to charge people a bunch of money up front, and we're not trying to convince them that we're better than everybody else out there. What we're trying to do is say, hey, you've got something special, we see it, we believe in your vision, we believe in what it is you're doing, and we're going to run with it. We're going to do everything that we can. We're going to use everything that we've learned, everything that we've accomplished in our own platforms and the projects that we've been building, whether the successes or the failures, everything that we've learned and our work ethic. And we're going to go hard, and we're going to go after what it is that it takes to succeed and to see our clients succeed. And that's coming first, because when what you're doing is something we believe in, we're going to do our best, man. We're going to go all out. We're going to go all out, because it's not just about, is this something that's going to make us money? Sure, it's nice to make money. It's nice to, you know, say like, okay, we'll make this much per video, or we'll make this much per month if we have somebody signed on to our service. You know, we have someone that we're on their retainer. Okay, cool. But we're much more motivated by, this person has a vision that we believe in. This person is making a difference in the community. This person is impacting the world in a positive way. You know, they're pushing back the darkness. That's a lot more interesting to us. Sorry about that. Got a little camera blur going on there. Guess it's the time of day that I'm losing my light here a little bit. But anyway, I didn't mean to go on an entire spiel or rant about our business. My point here is that there's got to be something more than just money, more than just personal success. Like, there's got to be a belief in something bigger and something higher and something that's worth more. And I think, you know, my theory is that the people that do what they love, the people that do things to really genuinely help others, that are motivated by a higher order than, you know, self-gratification, realization of their own goals, someone that can reach beyond and pay the price short term for a longer term goal that involves more than just themselves, they're ultimately going to produce something better. They're ultimately going to do better. So, you know, best of luck to our competitors that have a different spin on things, that are more interested in sweet talking people and trying to benefit themselves. No ill intended. Question I'm kind of dealing with is, how do you deal with them, you know? How do you take the things that they're doing and turn that into a positive use without becoming a manipulator? without becoming like them in that money orientation, that success orientation, personal success orientation being more important than the higher values, the higher goals that we espouse. And I'm still searching that one out a little bit, because I think there's something to be said for that masculine drive to compete, that drive to be the best at what we do, to overcome rather than be overcome. But I'm cautious. I'm cautious about what that really means. I'm cautious about how to use that in a way that is truly beneficial, including for our competition. You know, as a Christian, I believe, Brandi and I both believe, that we're supposed to love our enemies. Now, I wouldn't call a competitor an enemy. It's not somebody necessarily who wants to destroy our life and take everything from us. But, you know, if you want to exaggerate it, if you want to take it there, okay. What if they consider us their enemy? Well, how do you love your enemies? How do you position yourself? How do you create the kind of framework in your business and your life that takes their motives and takes what it is they want, their success, takes that into account, and we negotiate a deal, we negotiate a relationship that benefits them and it benefits us. That in the end, they get what it is they're searching for, what they're wanting, and we get what we're searching for, what we're wanting. So I'm trying to find the right framework, the right way of navigating this, the way of alchemizing and taking my own drive for success. I mean, we all have it in us. We all want to succeed. We all want to prosper. We all want to profit. We all want to have the resources in our hands that can take care of our family, can take care of our loved ones, can take care of our friends. I want to be the kind of leader, I want to be the kind of person that what I develop and what I build isn't just what benefits Sean, but it's even those that would be very easy for me to see them as the enemy. It would be very easy to take the perspective of they're the competition and I must destroy them. How do I instead love my enemies in business? How do I instead follow the principles of the Beatitudes and going after the goals that we have while also really considering the goals and the motivations and the ambitions of others who we may not be currently fully aligned with, whose first order values might be our second or third order values. Well, that's something I'm thinking through, and I'm thinking about how to strategically position ourselves in such a way that we're both protecting ourselves from downside, protecting ourselves from the motives and interests of others, but better than that even, that we're able to even see upside. We're even able to harness their drives and the things that are going on with them to benefit them and ourselves. That's my line of thinking right now. That's what I'm kind of going after. So it's this, I guess, balance between holding true to your core, holding true to the spirit of what you're all about, and still dealing with the competition of others, still dealing with those who don't see things the same way as we do. So the video quality is a little bit down. It got dark on me fast, just so you know. But I hope that you enjoyed this conversation. If you have more questions, feel free to bring them up in the comments, DM me across the social medias. It's always at Ask Sean Douglas. And I hope that, you know, if you have any insights, if you have some comments, if you have your own questions or about something else, not even about this subject, feel free to ask them, feel free to put them out there. Let me know what you're thinking. I definitely want this to be a conversation between all of us. So thank you for joining us on this walk in the woods. Wisdom first always. Peace out.